fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God!
God, what?
This is the world's premier online racing simulation. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat from your home computer with the most realistic online motorsports experience you'll find anywhere. Race virtually in the world's biggest events with officially licensed series, cars, and tracks. From the high banks of Daytona to the blistering speeds of Indianapolis, the dirt of Eldora to the world's most legendary road courses. It's all here, and with more than 180,000 people just like you already driving, you'll always have someone to race. Ready to get behind the wheel? Sign up at iRacing.com to get started.
Just 2 rounds left to figure out who can put themselves up at the top. This is everything. This is anything you can get your hands on. Every point matters. Every position has a story to tell. And why not head to one of the most storied tracks, a track beyond tracks which has so much lore behind it that today's Sprint Strecker run at the Nurburgring, round 5 overall, could not be any more poignant here today. Welcome to SimSpeed TV. Welcome to coverage of the Porsche Heuer Esports Supercup and the 5th round of 6 as the 15, maybe a couple more, fight for their place overall to book themselves into contenders. Now then, Jake Sperry, Jay Kennedy here to bring you all of the action. Qualifying currently underway, but this Nurburgring track here, Jay, oh my goodness, is this one of the most amazing places to find great racing.
Going to be an interesting one, isn't it, Sperry? Hello, everyone. It's cutting out one of the key overtaking opportunities, but it's really going to play to the advantage of drivers that are very, very good at getting drive out of the AMG arena, the Mercedes arena. It's going to be very, very interesting. Looking forward to seeing how it does play out. Wasn't a track layout I was expecting to see on the schedule, but I'm quite excited to see how it races.
I am as well. This is a track where you have to be very, very alert. There is 1 or 2 long straights still. You still have that run up towards Vidal, the left-right chicane. And on top of that, you've got the run into turn 1 at Yokohama. So you've still got those which certainly work out. But that Kazambingdung down at the bottom of the track, that is going to be where you've got to keep in mind. You can see a little bit there in the grayed out just how this track normally goes through the Mullenbacher-Schleife. But the Kazambingdung is a part of the track here, Jay, that is most notably used when it comes to the likes of the VLN Endurance.
Yeah, it's not really used in sprint racing all that much, but yeah, as you say, it's used the VLN, so coming off the Nordschleife and then through that section of track and using that shortcut after hitting the Grand Prix circuit. The chicane's probably going to be one of the most interesting points of the track, though, because it's going to provide a lot of controversy and a lot of action. Lots of championship points up for grabs in this one too.
Oh, there absolutely are. And why not head down to the championship standings right now? Because Lasse back, 1,504, is clear by a very, very large margin over Bryn Collins in 2nd position. It's Kevin Nielsen who finds himself 3rd, with Jacob Mashayevsky in 4th position, as Collins and Mashayevsky have done most of their work in the 2nd split. Matthias Stockbait Jensen is 5th, Valentin Mandanark down to 6th position. You got drivers in there like Oscar Mangan, Alexei Nasov in the top 10. But over the page a little bit more, and that top 15 cutoff becomes so key. Juan Blanat finds himself at that margin in 15th position. You look at the drivers who are there behind him. Luca Kita comes to mind. You got Valtteri Alander, who certainly comes to mind. Richie Stanaway up there in 14th position. He has been just finding a result in Split 2, Jay, that's giving him just enough to jump up inside that top 15.
Yeah, he was in Split 3 to start the season, found himself now in Split 2 and not far off making it into this top split. but still a little bit to go. We might see him for the final round, we may not. But to think that we're going to see potentially 2, 3, maybe even 4 drivers making it through to that top 15 from second and third split shows how strong the quality of the drivers are that are trying to make this field when you've got 90 odd drivers trying to make it for those 15 spots.
Yeah, that is crucial. Qualifying is all but done. I believe all drivers then who could possibly set a lap have set a lap. So we do have the opportunity to head to the grid and see just how everyone is going to stack up at the Nurburgring Sprint Strecker here today for round 5. And it is the championship leader. It's Lasse back on pole position, a 126.157. We'll have Valentin Mandenack for R8G Esports alongside him in second position. Gustavo Ariel lines up third with Andre Melchers going fourth on virtual home soil. Kevin Nielsen will start fifth with Oscar Irina rounding out the top 6 overall. Matthias Stockbake Jensen will go from 7th with Damon Woods in 8th position. The Australian Luke Kita and Juan Blainat, they round out the 5th row of the grid with Matthias H. Jensen, the second Matthias Jensen on the left-hand side, with Moritz Löchner in 12th position for Der Esports. Over to 13th, you got Dylan Burst and Simone Maria Marcheno down there in 14th. Michael Rakel will go from 15th with Michael Janney 16th. Then following that, surprisingly way off the pace, is Luke Bennett of Team Redline. 17th, they'll have Oscar Mangan for company in 18th position. 19th will be Laurent Benso with Kamil Grabowski in 20th. Kaike Oliveira and Jeremy Lamier will make up row 11 with row 12 holding Nato Nascimento and Alexander Lauritsen at this point in time. Row 13, P25 for Maggio Hansen will have David Bojka in 26th. Then it's Jerzy Glack, Alexei Nasov having a poor qualifying, and rounding out with a 127.3, Gyuming Kim from South Korea. So 2 minutes to get themselves gridded up. It's a 22-lap race here today, and it is going to be important to find some time to yourself. It's about 80 kilometers this run here, Jay, and they've got work to do.
Yeah, it's not a very long race in regards to distance, less than 50 miles on the clock. So it's the shortest race distance-wise we'll have for the entirety of this qualifying season, considering we had 100 odd kilometers not that long ago in round 2. So it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be quick. It's 30 minutes of non-stop action. No real chance to breathe because everyone is going to be applying pressure from behind if you're in front, and you're going to want to try and make moves very quickly.
You certainly do. Fire are 1 and 5. R8G are 2 and 4. This could be about where can you find it. Green flag, and we're underway. It's a good start by Gustavo Ariel from the clean side of the circuit. He'll move up to second. Mandenack couldn't quite get the launch he wanted off it. Cuts the nose off in towards turn 1, searching for the inside as it drops down the hill. Are there going to be any dramas then through the opening section? Looks like everybody just about gets it through cleanly as they enter the AMG arena. Way out of line goes one of the R8G cars there.
Melchers.
And I think that's going to be trouble. Yeah, Melchers. And then off the road goes, I believe, one of the Apex Academy cars then at turn 3. So there's dramas all over, and there's a spin. That will stop Jensen, who went around, and around goes someone else, and it continues in the back.
Yeah, a bit messy at the back of the field. It's the messiest we've seen the entirety of this series so far. We've seen a little bit of craziness, but not a messy run like that. What a start from Gustavo Ariel to get through into second place. And Kevin Nielsen, we said he was not quite there in qualifying. He's already made it up 2 spots and into third.
Exactly. Top 4 starts to break. Damon Woods in 5th with work. Middle of the pack continues its scrap at the moment as Kamil Grabowski tried to attack Laurent Benso. There is Damon Woods. His view of the top 4 at this point in time that are trying to break hard into the Vidal chicane. The left and the right, and Woods has gone around, and it's in front of everybody. The Kova car gets a huge hit. Oscar Irina involved, and everyone else just shuffles through. They'll now be 2 wide, 3 deep as they go through. Profiteering well off of that was Luca Kita. He did well, and another big slide through the final corner there just in front of Matthias Jensen. There was Matthias Jensen who made that slide.
Wow. You can tell that the sheep stations are up for grabs now. It's all to play for in this series now. It's gone from being rather gentlemanly to absolute aggression. Luke Bennett from a mile back elbows everyone out of the way and gets 3 spots.
Yeah, and there were 3 wide into 2. right behind him. Luke Bennett knows he's got to be aggressive early. A look down the inside, though, from Dylan Burst, who's not going to take no for an answer. He's going to try and feed him to that inside and says nothing. Now look on the inside, contact, big hit for Dylan Burst, and around in the background goes the Apex Academy car.
And also you see there, Oscar Mangan up the inside got through on Luke Bennett as he was stuck in the middle. But have a look at how far back he came to get this done into turn 1.
This is how quick on the iRacing replay you can make that move. Mr. Meeseeks, look at him down the inside. That was a case of having to lean on the Altus car in front of him to get through. Otherwise, that would have been disaster.
That was elbows out racing, and you can see how much each and every position means right now. This is just absolute craziness. It is all on now.
Lap 3 then about to start. Lasse back, your race leader. It is Gustavo Ariel in second. Kevin Nielsen in third. Valentin Mandanak currently in 4th position overall. And into the pits then is going to come one car. That's Dylan Burst, who probably has himself... Oh, he does. He's got a penalty. That would have been for jumping the start then, you would have thought. In the early stages, the trouble's there. 3 wide they go into turn 1. Mangan and Bennett and Laurent Benso. And Mangan just enough drive on the exit. Bennett takes a massive hit, and that might be his Contender Series over.
Yep, Mads Johansson gone as well. But yeah, Luke Bennett straight away escapes back to the pits, and his race is done. And as you said, that could be his qualifying series done as well. He's also received a black flag as well for that too.
Yeah, so that would be...
Has he already hit the incident limit?
17 incidents in 3 laps.
Potentially, you think about how aggressive he's been. There's 8 in just that first corner twice. So he could be at 17 already.
That's mental. That is mental. And it just shows you how aggressive drivers are being. And you can't afford to be that aggressive in the middle of the pack. You have to have some breathing room to get forward. And you can't win races by attacking everyone. Here comes Simone Maria Marcheno looking to dive up the inside. And not only Michael Janney as he goes through, but he shuts everything down with the likes of Oscar Irina and the Heuer Esports car. Wow! Everyone is going for it here today. They all woke up here, Jay, and they chose violence.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I... in saying that, if I had have actually slept last night, I'd be awake now because this race is crazy, but they have chosen violence, they've shown aggression. But as we've already seen, I think aggression may not be the key. Sitting back, watching, waiting might be the key to success in this mid-pack here. The front 4 have checked out, but this middle group here from 10th on back is just crazy. But Benso's had a mistake there, had an incident.
Yeah, big spin at turn 1. He's put it in the wall, and that'll be his race all but over as he went through. It drops down the hill at turn 1. I think he just did it all on his own here, Jay.
I don't know. I think he might have got a hit from behind. We'll see here on the replay, but I'm thinking there's a car that's come in way too deep. Here we go.
Oh, yes, it has. Oh, and that's how easily it can happen. You turn in late for the corner, trying to attack the exit. It's Jerzy Glak, the Polish driver, who's jumped in there. And that's just a case of not being switched on to how slow drivers are going to be in front of you. It can so very easily turn into a nightmare when you're not looking. And now, all of a sudden, this group, which is fighting about 10th position here, they've got some work right now. Michael Janney is on the defense. Rena, Jensen, you got Mangan in there, Grabowski, Bojka, Nascimento is there. Yumin Kim has made great progress off the start. Larrickson up there as well. Some big gainers in this field, and there'll be some big points on offer with an 8,300 iRating average.
This race has been absolutely crazy. We're only 4 laps in. Drivers already exceeding the incident limit to get drive-throughs, and Damon Woods is back out after his black flag. We've seen Alexei Nasov also has got a slowdown penalty to compound his issues he's had earlier, so the aggression levels are high in regards to cutting the chicane to try and find a 10th or 2 as well, so everyone's pushing it to the absolute limits. I say back, he's got it easy at the front, he's just driving away. They're slowly dropping Mandanak is 4th in that front pack, but happily the gap the front 4 have got from everyone else, they can just cruise away and take that 1, 2, 3, 4 and bag the points. There's heaps of points on offer at the front. Might as well take them while you can.
Yeah, no reason to fight right now when you got points on the table. You got Luke Keita in 5th. Moritz Löchner up 6 into 6th position. What a good run he's had so far. Juan Blainat, remember, he's the man here on the bubble. Number 22. He's in 7th, and if he can stay here, he will give himself a lot of safety in comparison to the likes of those around him. He'll probably leapfrog Richie Stanaway. He'll be looking to leapfrog a couple others as well who are in trouble, and that will give him a whole heap of advantage as he moves through into the later stages. A little bit further back, Matthias H. Jensen trying to chase down Oscar Irina and Michael Janney at this point in time. This top 10 becomes massive, and you've still got fighting behind because Nascimento and Gumin Kim are too wide down the front stretch.
They are indeed, and remember, Gumin Kim started from last. He was 1.2 seconds off in qualifying, but the race pace is a lot better than we saw in qualifying. So he's already surpassed his fastest lap in qualifying in the race, and we're only 6 laps in, so he's flying at the moment. He's already passed 13 cars to get himself up into 16th position.
Yeah, and that just shows you how you can just be quietly gaining the places, not doing too much, just keeping it out of trouble, and the positions will be handed to you. That's what's been so great with the way that he's been running in the early stages of this race. Into the Kazambingdang. What a difficult corner this is, Jay, because it dips down the hill and it plateaus in the middle when you want to put the power on.
Yeah, the other part to it too is it doesn't really have any definitive braking markers from what you would normally have. I mean, it's got a couple of boards there, but they don't really make sense to the point that you'll put your foot on the brakes. You're sort of guessing at a halfway in between point. So there's no real mark there because it's obviously not the standard braking zone for what is the normal layout of the circuit. So it can prove to be quite difficult at that point of the track. The front of the field is starting to close a little bit. I'm going to take our attention away from that because Gustavo Ariel has got it to within 2/10 for the first time in a long time.
He has. He is very much the Texaco filling in a Fire Sim Sport sandwich right now. Lasse back, your race leader. Kevin Nielsen in 3rd. On the brakes they go, flicking through the left of turn 3, and this 90-degree right of turn 4 is so pivotal. Everyone's going to try and push as fast as they can to that outside, trying not to get themselves an instant point as they hit the brakes, and then as they dip over the guttering in through turn 5 at the Kazambingdang, they know that they immediately get off of the exit, head through the Ravenol left. They've got the Bilstein right that follows immediately after, and it's about transfer. How do you transfer that power? And I tell you what, Lasse back is so good in that middle sector.
Yeah, transferring the power correctly and making sure you maintain your flow, maintaining speed through the slow section. So it's not necessarily about having the best braking, it's about having the best mid-corner speed and maintaining that momentum through the corner, because if you can maintain your speeds through the corner rather than stop, start, you're going to find yourself having a much better time. But Ariel looking much stronger coming out of that tight twisty section down the long straight through the chicane and then back down the front straight. He's looking a lot better and a lot stronger. I don't think he's close enough to make a move, and I don't think he will make a move regardless. Not until later on, maybe not. I tell you what, Mandernach's going to get a move done here because Kevin Nielsen was in too deep, too hot, and he's lost a whole heap of ground.
Well, I don't think he's close enough. That's the key. But what that was sketchy. Matthias Jensen having to scrap now as he looks for a way around Oscar Irina. He's got the inside at 2. He'll have the inside at 3, but he'll be on the wrong side of the road for 4. Oscar Mangan, the Irishman, well, he's got the perfect box seat at this moment. Arena back on the inside through 4, around the outside, tries Matthias H. Jensen as he's the second of Matthias Jensens in this field. But at this point in time, Arena still not giving it up here through turn 5, down the hill at Kazambingdang, trying to get the drive off the exit, can't shut the door, up over the heavy curb on the outside, inside for Bilstein. What a move, Matthias Jensen.
Took him 3/4 of a lap to do it, but he got it done. And now Oscar Mangan, Emil Grabowski, David Borja, they're all there and are thinking, what are they doing ahead? Why are they fighting so aggressively? Why don't you take the position? Because we've lost so much ground. That fighting has dropped them 1.2 seconds back. Oscar Mangan's had enough. He wants to get through. Not quite there.
Not quite there, but certainly trying to find a pass, and it's not necessarily as easy as it comes.
Oh,
So
it's on for
there'll
the
be
lead.
that to focus
Here we
on.
go.
But now for the lead. First time, Lasse back, goes defensive into the Yokohama corner. And can he figure out a way to defend it? Ariel tries to get the drive off the exit. It was well covered by Lasse back. And he does want this group to be backed up because it's his teammate behind him, Kevin Nielsen, who will get licensed to attack.
Yeah, exactly right. Help his teammate close that gap back down as well. Remember, he dropped 6/10 not that long ago. Tell you what, Oscar Arena, he's been on the defense way more than the attack in this race and in pretty much the entirety of this season. Look at how bruised and battered his car is. But his elbows are nice and wide. He's able to defend his positions quite well. And Oscar Mangan couldn't get through. Mangan almost having to defend the inside as well from Grabowski. This is getting rather intense in this mid pack. I want to watch the front, but I want to watch this at the same time.
Yeah, you got the Williams Esports car, Kamil Grabowski. You got the Williams Academy car of David Boschke just behind. And it really does show to you just how easily that you can lose ground and go from defending to attacking. It only took one corner to go wrong for Oscar Mangan. That was turn 3, and suddenly he's back on the defense again. Yeah,
exactly right. And that was, again, about that flow, that maintaining your momentum, maintaining your flow. Now, if you can do that, you'll do good. But he wasn't able to do it perfectly in that mid phase. Here we go again. It's on, and they're swapped sides this time.
Ariel then's going to have to try and put a block pass in, and he does. Great move. Ariel to the race lead. Number 2 in position number 1. Nothing Lasse back, the championship leader, could do about that one. That was just purely fantastic going through from Gustavo Ariel. Kevin Nielsen will now look. Mandanark will also be thinking about ways he wants to try and find a way through and have his scraps out there on track. Wonderful work going on then at the front.
Beautiful job from Ariel to finally get that move done. I'm sure, I know I said it, but I was sure you were thinking the same, that we weren't going to see Ariel probably try and make a move until late in the race. But I'm wondering if he was trying to make Lasse back think the same thing as what we were thinking, and then surprising him with a move or an attempt on the last 2 laps. Got it done finally. Can he defend the spot though? Because we know that Lasse back's got some great pace. This is going to be a very, very good battle all the way to the end.
It absolutely will. As they go through the Vidal chicane, they try and attack off this exit. This big curve on the left-hand side, you can see they run right up it and drop down, try and get that extra bit of grip as the tyres ever so briefly on the left-hand side leave the ground, and then they gain that extra bit of grip on the contact patch. Then they start to charge on this front stretch and try and figure out where the move is. Right in the guttering, trying to figure out where is the pass. But Lasse back, he can't find a way around the outside. The top 4 looking good, but they'll have to be careful as they look behind. It's 1.6 the gap to them. Luca Kita at 27.3 that last time by was half a second quicker than Mandanark.
He was. Oh, it's the 3 wide back in the field. Have a look at who's gaining even more positions. Kim is now up 14 and about to make it 15 as he gets past Grabowski here, because he's going to get this done just based on the pace he's had in this race.
And it's checking up all of a sudden. Nascimento there. Boschke, Lauritsen, Jerzy Glax there. Mattia Hansen trying to go through. It's getting feisty here in the mid to late pack, trying to find a move. And they all lunge. It's Johansson trying to go the long way around in the Apex Academy car, trying to find that move. And he's got the very difficult task of holding the Vendaval car, I believe it is, right behind him as well, of Damon Woods. So he's there. Rakel as well for Heuer Esports is in the mix as well. It's nice to see that Moritz Lerner's got a teammate here today, but this mid-pack is absolutely stacked.
It's crazy how strong this midfield is. And I've said this about many series before. Guys that normally race at the front, you put them all together in the mid-pack of a race, sometimes they actually don't know how to handle those sort of battles. Kim's around or lost a whole heap of time. Oh, he's had a slowdown penalty through the chicane. He's lost all of that work that he's done. He's dropped, 7 positions back to 22nd. He's back going again. But I don't think that was the best place for him to use that slowdown or slow down for that black flag. Damon Woods defends. But you see it all the time in races where you get highly competitive fields, drivers that are used to battling for P1, 2, 3, they get rather heated when they see an extra 1 or even a 2 beside that position, and knowing that they're racing
Melchers.
against other guys. Oh no.
Just running wide through the Kazambing Dung. He's just lost out on a fight for fifth place. So it's as easy as this. He's just got the grass on entry, slid halfway through, and then he's just got to be so careful over that. Essentially, what you're running through is just parts that allow the grass to grow over there. It's so scrub and barren.
Yeah, there's no grip out there at all, and go to put your foot on the brake, all of a sudden the brakes are locked and you can't slow it down. So as he was not far off potentially getting a move done on that battle pack for 5th, he's now going to defend from Simone Marcheno behind. Oh, what is going on back here? Oh no.
Boschke in all sorts of trouble, and they're all swarming. And this can only mean trouble as they went through. It was Boschke and Nascimento side by side, made contact, checked everybody up, and now here comes the battle on the front stretch. Right to the pit wall goes Alexander Lauritsen. Mattia Hansen was pushing him there. In front of them, Jerzy Glack has got the most unenviable position in the world, and Lauritsen is going to move through, and he is going to take that place. So an important pass being constructed. And I tell you what, the Movano Corsa driver has now got a very tough challenge. Look at it. It is single file, and nobody wants to be single file this far back.
No, this is, I mean, Swarmer B stuff, isn't it? Yeah, we saw 4 wide out of the chicane. Just noticing too, Lauritsen has got a black flag in P16. So at the front of this group,
That's a penalty.
he's exceeded the incident limit, I would guess, from the contact we've seen in this group.
Yeah, so he'll have to come through, serve a drive-through penalty. At 17, you get a drive-through. At 25, you're disqualified. So that's how quickly it can go wrong. So Alexander Lauritsen will be even further back then in this race, and that'll be a real shame. There goes another look for Boschke on Nascimento. This time he's on the other side of the circuit trying to make that move happen as we focus on the 28 of Rakel at this point in time, who stays nicely in line at this point. 1, 2, 3, and 4 might be 5, 6, and 7, as that gap is 1.5 seconds still. Luca Keita's trying everything to bring himself in, but he's now just hit a wall because they're all speeding up, trying to keep these 3 out the race.
Oh, Melchers has had a slowdown penalty as well, so he's just slowed down. So after that big lock-up 2 laps ago, he's now lost the spot to Simone Marcheno. Marcheno through into P8. It'd be a good haul of points for him if he can stay there, but Melchers, he'll be disappointed after that mistake, fighting for 7th, and now finds himself back in 9th and just not going in the right direction.
No, he was just too aggressive through turn 1. That's where he's picked it up. 9 laps to go, and all of a sudden, Lasse back has his eyes focused on Gustavo Ariel, the Brazilian driver. And now, where does he figure he can make a move? Up the hill towards Vidal would be nice, but he's not got himself an angle for it. But if he can get a drive off the exit, he'll be all right. But Gustavo Ariel gives himself the car length and a half off of the exit, and there's not much that Lasse back can do if he can't close it up through the final sections. The windscreen wipers go as he tries to clear his screen, but now you start figuring out, okay, Lasse's got to find a move. Gustavo Ariel's doing very well. And wasn't it a case at Watkins Glen last time out that Gustavo Ariel was resolute in defence and was able to hold on for the victory?
And we were shocked that he was able to hold on, and then the guys in that group behind him got way too aggressive and threw away positions. So, I mean, is it shaping up to be the same? And the guys in that group of 5, 6, 7, Luca Keita and the rest there, are they shaping themselves up to potentially steal another podium? This is going to be crazy. It's going to be a fun little finish. 8 laps to go. Not much left racing in this one.
No, not much left at all. And I tell you what, it is starting to continue out there as still there's some side-by-side, and there goes the turn. Glack turns Lauritsen, and there's more contact there with the Apex Academy car of Mattia Hansen, who was on the scene. Suddenly it's Damon Woods down the inside looking to pick this up, and he'll be the pick for Rakel to try and get through on Jerzy Glack. So then for Rakel, the Heuer Esports driver, having to go the long way around. Gumin Kim in there as well, and that puts Jerzy Glack over 17 incident points.
Wow. And I don't think that'll be the last. That's driver 3 that we've seen hit the incident limit, or driver 4 we've seen hit the incident limit already. Will we see more? I will say yes. Oh, 3 wide at the back. Oh, this is gonna work.
Oh, how has he got himself through and there's no contact? Johansson does brilliantly, and suddenly there's contact behind and round. We'll go Kaike Oliveira, contact with Gyumin Kim.
Yeah, Oliveira unlucky there that there was just a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, and around he goes. I tell you what, this group that we haven't focused on in a little while is starting to get heated too. The group for P10, we haven't watched them for a long while since we saw Marcheno in this group. He's broken away, but the rest of the group is still in huge defense, trying to hold on to each and every position. So it's still going crazy as well.
That still is as well, and you sort of figure out 10th to 14th here. Doesn't sound like much, but those are huge points that you can score.
Huge swings.
Boost overall. Exactly. Every point position is about 20 to 30 extra points here, Jay.
Yep, and the difference between getting 300 and 210, that could be the difference between getting yourself 15th or 16th in this points championship fight, when we've seen that the difference between P15 and P16 right now is only 6 or 7 points, and by next week it'll be even less. These positions matter way more than they look at on paper. They'll be trying to get that 10th spot, hoping that there's more incidents ahead as well. Mads Johansson's now got a penalty.
Yeah, that'll be 17 for Mads Johansson. He'll have to come in and serve his penalty. It's on as well for the race lead, defended for the first time by Gustavo Ariel in towards turn 1. The Fire Sim Sport car gets tucked up underneath, trying to find a way through. Lasse back, knows that with his 100-plus point lead at the top of the championship right now, Jay, he doesn't have to go for this victory, but you have to remember one important fact: he's a race car driver.
Yep. Doesn't have to, but we know he will. Also seen another driver get a black flag. So that Nascimento, who's got a black flag as well. So 3 black flags present at this stage. Nascimento in the pits, Glack in the pits, Hansen in the pits. So penalties and things going on everywhere at the moment. I don't think anyone in this top 4 is safe, but I'm very, very concerned about that pack 10th on back, whether someone or everyone is going to get black flags in that group.
Well, if they start fighting, they might. That's the only concern that they'll have. On the brakes they go. Left-right chicane comes along once again. It'll be 5 at the line to hold on for Gustavo Ariel, looking for back-to-back victories here in your Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Supercup qualifying series. Look at the brake glow on the Altus car of Oscar Mangan going through the Vidal chicane. The Hyundai N-curve here this right and sets up the run off of the exit. And now we're starting to see the defending. Gianni hard to the right-hand side. He's trying to shake some draft.
Yep, he's trying to make sure that there's less draft by doing the little weave and hugging up against that pit wall. Drivers behind not quite close enough to make a move, but you know, if they get close enough to get within touching distance, tiny little bump just to unsettle the car. Just seen a Stockback Jensen now has a black flag. He's in the pits, so more and more drivers succumbing to this incident limit. And I think that that's why the intensity of this race has just dropped a little bit. Everyone's realised, hey, I'm very close. I might get a black flag here.
Speaking of close, Luca Kita 1.1. That's all. And it's now 9
it's actually
tenths.
down. Yeah, 9 tenths now. He's closing that gap very quickly. Last lap by, he was 4 tenths of a second quicker than the leader in Gustavo Ariel. So he's coming. This pack of 4 is about to become a pack of 7.
That Urano car has been on rails all day. And you just think if he gets a sniff to Valentin Mandanach,
he's going to get draft
for
now.
Him. He is. And he's on the outside looking in, remember, as Luca Kita. So he's really got to find this move.
He's got nothing to lose as well, does he? I mean, if he doesn't make the move, it puts him in a maybe spot. If he makes the move, well, that almost gets him into the top 10, let alone the top 15. So this is huge for him. He's really got to try and find something. Again, faster than most of the cars ahead. Not by as much as the previous lap, though. So the gap has stabilised.
And he's dragging Moritz Löchner and Juan Blainat along for the ride. And that is big in terms of this race, figuring out where you can move and where you can find it. Rakel and Woods side by side then as they hit the brakes in towards the Yokohama corner, turn number 1. Rakel has it covered and nicely done. He holds on with his defense out there on track. Every corner now becomes a vital piece of information, and you don't have many of those resources left.
No, not much left in that aspect at the moment, is there? There's not much racing left in this one. Luca Keita's got it down to 8/10, by the way, but Woods not able to get this spot. Remember, this battle pack not that long ago was 8, 9, 10 cars. Well, almost all of them that aren't in the group anymore have had black flags, so that's why you're seeing a lot no longer in this battle pack.
Yeah, almost everybody has found themselves on the wrong side of it, so it does leave the leading 7 now into an interesting fight. Ariel, great run out of the Hyundai N-Curve, is going to take a further lead then as they go through. 3 laps to go here at the Nurburgring. Lasse back second. Kevin Nielsen just being the rear gunner in 3rd place. And then behind that, you've got Mandanak in position number 4. This becomes a case of, does anyone want to make a move out there? Speaking of it, here comes Mangan with a thought to the inside, just that. Grabowski just behind. He's going to lunge down the inside of the truly battered Oscar Irina.
Can't believe that Ascari's pace is still there, considering how beaten, broken and battered his car looks, but he's still driving it at a decent clip, so he's going along okay at this stage. The car doesn't look healthy, but it's still got good pace. Speaking of good pace, Luca Keita's got it down to 6/10.
He's closing it up, and he's doing it as much as he needs to, but he's got to get in position to find the pass. He has been a very beautiful breath of fresh air in this race, closing and doing exactly what he needs to out there on track. Still though, the brakes they hit to the left and the right, and I wonder if Lasse back can find a way through. I wonder how much Kevin Nielsen's been holding back in this race as well, whether he did have enough maybe to challenge up front for this one. It's a very interesting game right now with the 2 teammates 2nd and 3rd in the green and in the pink, and suddenly Ariel's trying to shake.
Trying, and he's done. He's able to shake for now, so he'll be able to hold onto the spot. But I tell you what, Valentine Mandanak's going to have to be looking in the mirrors for the first time in a long time, because he's going to see that big red and black Drano car coming quickly. He'll be starting to feel a little bit of pressure. He'll be hoping that the guys in front start to push a little bit harder so he doesn't have to stress so much. He'll have an eye on the mirror for the first time in pretty much 20 laps.
First time all race, really. He'll be looking behind him rather than in front, and I think it's rather telling as Oscar Mangan again tries to find the pass on Matthias H. Jensen. Can't quite manage to find it working. It looks like Michael Janney's done well defending in 10th place, but comes a case now of you're running out of time. It will be 1 lap to go at the line, and then you've got 2 options. You either hold with what you got, or you just throw the kitchen sink.
Yeah, I think some guys will be throwing the kitchen sink, and other guys that are right on the bubble or in and just consolidating points will be a little bit more cautious of what's going on around. Of course, we don't know what people are like with incident limits too, so some guys could be 1 or 2 away and have to be very, very cautious. We saw last week post-race penalties. We've seen the previous week post-race penalties for incident limits, so I've got no doubt that we're going to see it again. White flag will be in the air though. This is the last lap, the last chance for these guys to make some moves.
4.5 tenths of a second for Gustavo Ariel to repeat here round 4 and round 5. On the brakes into turn 1. It looks good at the moment. It looks fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Luca Keita will have to look behind because Moritz Lerner has suddenly woken up as they enter the AMG arena.
Yeah, he's got right there now, hasn't he? The number 1 car is ready to pounce. He's not quite close enough to make a move, but he's there to pounce on a mistake. The only downfall is there's been very, very few mistakes from anyone in this top 7 in this race. I mean, Juan Blainat's dropped a little bit pace-wise, but I think that's more just to consolidate the position rather than anything else. It's not that he's going slow or anything. It's just that he's thought, well, I might as well just take the spot. But I'll tell you who's impressed me the most has been Kevin Nielsen, because remember, he qualified it in 5th, but he got a great launch and got away very, very well. So he's done very, very well in this race.
Yeah.
Boris Lautner, though, up 6 positions. He's done well too.
He's done so well. Gustavo Ariel has a gap then as they hit the brakes and enter the Vidal chicane for the final time here at the Nurburgring Sprint Stracker. Up the hill to the Hyundai N-Curve in the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Supercup qualifying series. You may have just booked this place for contenders. You may as well have done so with Lasse back. Gustavo Ariel goes back-to-back with the victory then as the top 7 all find themselves within 3 seconds of your race win. Some great scrapping throughout. Mangan's not going to get the pass on Matthias Jensen late as he goes through. And I tell you what, this suddenly becomes a very interesting game to fight at top 15, because this could be legitimately anybody's from the top 2 to go through, and they still fight. Yumin Kim is going to have to go straight on at the final chicane.
We talked him up earlier. He was up 16 positions, but he's just lost a whole heap of ground there. He's got a slow down penalty as well that he's going to have to serve. So he's only got up to 23rd in the end by the time he crosses the line. But he was on for a fantastic race. So he did very, very well to gain spots, but he's lost a fair few in the end. But congratulations, Gustavo Ariel. What a race that was.
What an incredible run. What an incredible result for him. And he gets it done in 32 minutes and 3 seconds. That's all it was. And he wins by 4 tenths overall. 4.5 tenths. Same gap he had over 2 Danish drivers, Lasse Bak and Kevin Nielsen from Fire Sim Sport. Valentin Mandenack will finish off in 4th for R8G, with Luca Kita rounding out the top 5 overall. Moritz Löchner will get 6th place, with Juan Blainat, the bubble man, getting 7th overall. That is a huge result for the Argentine, who knows that he will now feel a little bit more safe in terms of his championship outlay. Simone Maria Marcheno will finish off in 8th place, with Andre Melchers in 9th, and Michael Janney will round out the top 10 overall in this race. Over the page then to 11th, you get Matthias H. Jensen having a really decent showing in his battles, just staving off the charge of Oscar Mangan in 12th. Kamil Grabowski will finish 13th, with Oscar Irina in 14th, and Michael Rakel finishing off in 15th place. It will be 16th for Damon Woods, with David Bojka in 17th overall. Kaike Oliveira would finish 18th after being spun around early. Laurent Benso had his spin. That brought him down to 19th. And a lot of drivers down here had a drive-through penalty to serve. Jerzy Glack was one of them who had to serve the penalty in the 20th. And moving further back down, you look at the likes then of 21st. Alexei Nasov never had pace here today. Magia Hansen down the order. Yumin Kim, Matthias Stockbake Jensen. Hammer blow for a driver who was top 5 coming into this. You got Nathan Nascimento, Jeremy Lamier in trouble a lap down, and the 3 retirees, Alexander Lauritsen, Dylan Burse, and after winning the opening round of the championship, leaving himself maybe too much to do, Luke Bennett of Team Redline, he's going to be kicking himself about that. I'd mark my words, he definitely had the pace and potential, Jay, to make it to contenders.
100%. He'll be devastated with that. Confirming it was a black flag for the incident limit. So he racked up 18 incident points in three laps and a corner. It's incredible how much contact there was in that group. 6 drivers with drive-through penalties for exceeding the incident limit. And then, 5, 6, 7 drivers within 1 car contact from getting a drive-through as well. Crazy how intense that race was. I loved it. It was crazy.
It was crazy, and I tell you what, there are some drivers here who are going to come out of today, head to the final round of the championship at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari at Imola, and say, this is where I've got to make this happen. It's really one of the only tracks so far here over the course of this season, Jay, that's full distance, essentially.
Yeah, it's a Grand Prix track. It's the first one we've had all season of the full Grand Prix layouts, and I'm looking forward to it. One of my favourite tracks. Always provides a brilliant race, so I can't wait to see how the cars handle Imola. Know that the curbs are going to be very, very critical, going to be very, very crucial, going to be very controversial. Bring it on, it's going to be fun.
Bring it on, and bring it on with us at SimSpeed TV. If you haven't had the chance to already, like, share, and subscribe for what is amazing content. We're not done here tonight or this morning, wherever you are around the world, because in just 25 minutes, we'll be jumping in with the iRacing Grand Prix Series. We're going to be jumping over to Interlagos for that one, but here from the Nurburgring, it is going to be Lasse Back's championship lead, but Gustavo Ariel all of a sudden is just turning the screw more and more. Back-to-back victories. He might just be making a claim here to say when it comes to contenders, he might be one of the very best to keep in mind. We will see you 1 week from today, Jake Sperry, Jay Kennedy, on what was an amazing race here at the Nürburgring. But stay with us for 25 minutes time, because that's when we start hitting the iRacing Grand Prix Series.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?